everyone, and welcome back to DMG. My friend just gave me this absolutely massive computer. He says he just got it out of his stepdad's attic, doesn't know a thing about it. But whatever it is, I am glad to have it. Now, it's in pretty interesting condition. The hard drives are just laying in there, so those might work. I have not really taken a detailed look at this. I got it like 10 minutes ago. Got a lovely power switch there. Also, this thing is huge. Just compare it to the height of the Fractal Focus G over there. No, I'll push this chair in a bit. Like, it's a good many inches taller than your standard ATX case. Like, I think that these 4 drive bays go above what normal ATX height is. I haven't actually, like, opened it up yet, so that's what I'm going to be doing. I will lay it flat to do that. But just looking at it from the front first, we've got a floppy drive, definitely just a CD drive, because it's got the headphone jack, and it's one of those drives that can function as like a standalone CD player. Then you've got a reset switch, no case badge, power, hard drive, and a thermometer, so probably thermal indicator, then a lock. So that indicates this was probably a server machine, and also we've just got the drives in there, although not properly mounted. How does this... It looks like it has hinges on the back, the side panel. And it's very loose from the front. No, I can't pop it out from there. Is there like a latch behind here? Here, let's see. Oh. That was easy. Oh. Okay. So we've got a box of cobwebs with a little bit of computer in there. Let me make that a bit easier to see on camera. Now you can really see the scale of this board. Like, a full ATX board is just looks tiny in this case. You could put another full ATX board up there, it's so big. We've got a power supply that might explode. These fans, there aren't fans in those, but there's a fan in that. We've got an A-open motherboard. And this huge Intel cooler. That is interesting. I was thinking this might be a 486, but oh, those capacitors are not happy. Yeah, those caps have not had a good day right there. I could try and replace them. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Okay, only a couple caps in this board actually, like, might have a chance of working. The rest are just gone. Very gone. Let's see. Well, might as well take a look at the drives. It's unfortunate because I literally bought some IDE, or an IDE drive this morning to do a review of. And then I get this afternoon with 4 IDE drives in it. 120 gig WD and another of the same, and then 2 300 gigabyte Barracuda 7200.10. I did not know that in the 7200.10 series they were still making IDE. That seems a bit late. Of course, all Molex. We've got a huge, just absolute unit of a controller here for these drives made by 3Ware. Triple channel RAM, that was common back in the day. I mean, this was a nice motherboard. Yeah, this was a pretty nice motherboard. You've got this really short slot. What is that? CNR. I want to look that up. I have never heard of that. I have never heard of a CNR slot until today. It's down here. I thought it was like a short AGP slot or something at first. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna start taking more cards out and seeing what's going on here. No, first I'm gonna do the CPU. After I rescue these drives, I shall test these at some later point. Wow. Talk about spring-loadedness. I think this is a Pentium system. I got an Pentium 2. Because the design of that cooler is not new. And it's got an AGP. Oh, his house must smell quite interesting. I'm amazed there's no like live animal still thriving inside this computer. Here, I can somewhat reach the RAM. Let's check that out. Ah! So this further solidifies that this was a server. 256 megabytes of 133 megahertz ECC memory. Alright, because that's too hard, I'll just unscrew some cards. Looks like a video card we got here. If this is a server, it's strange that it would have a video card. AGP. Is this a Matrox? Yeah, it's a Matrox. Interesting company. It's got this cool, like, color-changing heatsink here. I wonder what that's for. I wonder if this is a 2D card and that's for connecting a 3D accelerator. Or maybe this is a 3D card and that's for connecting a 2D card. It's got these adorable little capacitors on it. God dang, this is a huge controller. I'm gonna take this out just to free up some room in here because, wow, this motherboard might be, oh yeah, I think this board is beyond repair. I'm just seeing so many, just dead caps. Holy crap. Look at the size of the controller on this thing, dude. Oh, wow. That's just gorgeous. Oh, this is PCI X? No, the board isn't PCI X, but it's got the extra lane. Here, sorry, I'll hold it a bit more like that so you can see it better. Why are there so many IDE cables to the board when most of the drives were connected to the controller? It looks like these two... No, what? That's... Maybe there were some that just weren't hooked up. Whatever this is, cemented into the slot by dust. Oh, we've got an Intel early LAN card. A LAN card. Intel Pro 1000 MT desktop adapter. So I'd assume this is a 10100 1000 Ethernet card. So that's gigabit LAN, which is cool if this machine is as old as I think it is, because it's still got the Intel logo where the E is lower. So that really does date it a good bit. Date on the BIOS chip is 1998. So I'm betting this is a Pentium 2 or 3. It's probably not a K6 because it says Intel in every conceivable place. Maybe it's a Pentium 3 Xeon. I think Pentium 2 was the first series from Intel to have accompanying Xeon processors. We've got a 20 pin power cable, not a 24 pin. We've got whatever this is to the power supply. The hell is that? I'm gonna liberate this hard drive before I flip it over because it's already been through a hard enough life. I see. So this part seems to swing up and out. There we go. Oh, is this an early Pentium 4? I think all I can think of is socket 478, but is that AMD? What is this little guy? It's so cute. Okay, so it's a Pentium 4. An early boy. Yeah, that's an old lad. Because they switched to 775 pretty soon after starting production of the P4. I'm going to clean it on the power supply because not like it's going to work anyway. I'm going to keep this case because I love it. They've used some strange thermal solution that is, yeah, this is a Pentium 4. This is not just regular thermal paste. Or maybe it is, but it's just really caked on. Yeah, what is this black stuff that's on it? Okay, it's 1.84 gigahertz, 400 megahertz FSB, 1.5 volts. Now that makes sense why this cooler was so large, because it is a Pentium 4. Especially these early Pentium 4s were known for being god-awful, to put it kindly. Now this is... ugh. There's like this extra black stuff on the little label. Interesting. This is the least flat IHS I have ever seen. This is a really small CPU. Like if you look at a socket 7 CPU and then this, or even a 775 CPU and then this, it's really small. What else can we do? It's got an AGP slot. It's a shame it doesn't work because then I'd actually be able to use my nice Radeon. What's that yellow port? It's got an integrated game port, 2 integrated serial. I don't know, pretty interesting. We've got a 275 watt power supply made by PC Power and Cooling Incorporated. Huh, I wonder what they make. Just a wild guess, maybe cooling and power for personal computers? I don't know, I'm just gonna put that out there. It's called the Silencer, which it sure has silenced the caps in this system permanently. Yeah, this is pretty unfixable. I'm gonna check the prices of a similar board, but honestly buying another one of this same board, I would just be buying another capacitor bomb. So there's no point in doing that. I will try to fix it, but there's no guarantee. That's strange. I thought the farthest back you could go with a Pentium 4 was DDR. Just DDR1. Because most 775 CPUs work with DDR1, 2, and 3, but I guess the earlier ones were built different. Alright, the video card is dated 2001. Bet this would work if I had a board to test it. God, I'm just so disappointed about those capacitors. I mean, if nothing else, I got some free cards and If this works, I might be using it elsewhere because, you know, set up a NAS 1999 style. And if the floppy drive works, I'd actually have a working floppy drive. Actually, the thing that's floppy in this system is the DVD rewritable. Probably not DVD or rewritable, now that I say that. I immediately take that back. Oh, we've got an actual speaker. What a commodity nowadays. Now, actually, I was wrong about the other hard drive. I just saw that it was a Seagate and assumed it was identical to the 300 gig Barracuda. But no, it's not. It's a much older Seagate. It's the Barracuda ATA4 from 2002 by the date code. Probably the original boot drive in this system. Of course, ATA. This was before it was called PATA or IDE because SATA had not been invented yet. When SATA came out, ATA was renamed to PATA, Parallel ATA, so that it would not be confused with Serial ATA. So that's where a couple of the ribbon cables go to. Also, we've got this weird, ugh, God, gross. I've already killed a spider that came out of it. What is this? Is this just an alternative form of the floppy connector? Because it looks like it has the same amount of pins, but it's just a different form factor. I would be very interested to know what this is. I'll get the screws out of the CD drive. The screw is on the one side. Also, it confuses me. Like, usually when you see lazily screwed in drives, they're on, you know, the screws that are on this side panel. That's usually easier to open. But no, it was lazily screwed in from the harder to open side. Which is interesting. You pretty much never see that. Okay, this drive is dated 02. Yeah. Mid 2002. Late 2002. Ada Pi, of course. Hey, Ada Pi! ATAPI. Because it's an IDE CD. Still got the audio out. Or sorry, I thought that said December. I don't know how I misread January as December, but this is an early 2002 drive. We've got some writing in permanent marker on it. It says 201290MD, or it could say PM0B2102. I'm not sure which it says, actually. This is, of course, set as master. It says analog audio and digital audio on the back. That's interesting. I'm gonna open my window. This is gross. Even though the PC itself is a catastrophic failure, I'm happy with this case, and you know, I hope this RAID card works. Now, looking at it closely, here, I'll put it in a better position, the camera. This is your main controller chip. Might be cache or something, I'm not sure. Like onboard RAM. It's that's probably like your bootloader for the card. Very old style of chips. So this controls those 4 ports. They probably made a model with 4 more ports there because there are solder points for 4 more ports. And the pads look like you could fit another one of these controllers. These are a bit too big. And those 4 pins are probably just jumpers for settings. It's the 3-wear Escalade. That's the model. Oh, yeah, that's a dirty little boy. Oh, and it's held on with the snaps. Oh, that is disgusting. Oh, it's a Matrox G55. I've come across these on eBay. They're kind of worthless. From my understanding, they're not really the best video cards out there. Now, it's interesting that the VGA port, because they could have just made the board a bit taller and put it there. But I guess they were going for low profile. Matrox's big thing back in the day is that they offered multi-monitor cards that were good for business. Yeah, it's a G55 Plus. And then I'll look up this Ethernet card, because that seems really interesting. Well, they still make Ethernet cards with the same name, so it's hard to find this exact model. But, I mean, this is really early. Of course, not the early days of Ethernet. That's, you know, much, much older than any Pentium processor. I love how basic this card is. Well, it's really complex, but just look at the size of this chip. This Pulse chip is massive. It's freaking massive. Yeah, it's 10, 100, 1000. And it's got a little LED indicating the link speed. That's cool. SD-RAM, not particularly valuable. Yeah, I'm really satisfied. I just find it hilarious that I literally bought an IDE drive this morning. Although it was a bit higher capacity than these, and probably more likely to be working because it wasn't in a spider-infested box for several years. But, you know, yeah, it's pretty cool. I've never actually touched an early Pentium 4. I've only ever used the 775. And it's really interesting to see just how small they are. Like, that's the size of a modern laptop chip. Like, they're about that size. Anyway, I am going to wrap the video up here. I will have some more videos testing this stuff. I wonder if this card is bootable. I wonder if it's recognized by the BIOS. It doesn't look like it has any capacitors on it that could leak. Same with this card and the Matrox card. It's really the motherboard that's the big one that went boom. So, I mean, I don't see any reason for the rest of this stuff to not work, so that will probably be a very soon video. Yeah, that's it for this video. Thanks everyone for watching, and see you next time.